Hello everyone. This video is on certification. Every week I get message from engineers in India, sir, I have done 3 certification in AWS, still not getting any interview call. Sir, I cleared CKA, Certified Kubernetes Administrator examination, but I failed in the interview. I don't know why. Sir, I have spent 50,000 rupees on certification in the last 1 year, still no job. I hear this every single week. And after 20 years hiring at AWS, Microsoft, Oracle, I know exactly what is happening. It is not that you are doing wrong certification. It is that you are doing certification in the wrong way. There are two types of certified professional in this world: paper certified and skill certified. Okay, what is this paper certified and skill certified? I can tell the difference in 5 minutes, and today I am going to show you which one you are, and more important, how to fix it if you are on the wrong side. With this, let's start the today's discussion. So, I once interviewed a candidate at AWS and he had done 5 certification. Five certification, 5 out of 5. When I say 5 out of 5, what does that mean? During that time, like somewhere in 2015ish, 16ish, in that area, that time, AWS was having only 5 certification. I think there was 3 associate certification and 2 professional certification. And that particular candidate had done all the 5 certification. It like he mentioned somewhere in his CV that all 5 certification done, something like that. There was a statement. And and at that time, somebody having all the 5 certification, it's that was a big thing. And I was really impressed uh, with, the candidate CV. His CV was beautiful. Then when then I started asking questions. My questions were very basic. I said, okay, can you tell me what is an ephemeral disk in EC2? The questions were related to EC2 and EBS most of the time, because I was hiring for the team of EC2 and EBS. So I need to understand what is a candidate Linux understanding, how good is in operating system concept, and if had, because this particular candidate has done 5 certification. So I thought, let me check his knowledge over EC2 and EBS. I asked, what is an ephemeral disk? EC2 basic. Anyone who has actually worked on AWS know this in 30 seconds. But no, you know what happened? He couldn't answer. He was having 5 certification, can't explain EC2 basic. Then I ask a second question. Okay, can you explain me what is the concept of elastic IP? Then again, the way he answered the elastic IP, I can guarantee that he didn't know what is IP address. He didn't have any concept of what is public IP, what is private IP, what are the different class A, class B, and class C. He doesn't have any he doesn't know anything about it. He doesn't know what is subnetting. That candidate, paper certified. Are you getting the point? What is the meaning of paper certified? Somebody who is claiming 5 certification, 5 out of 5, all the 5 certification done, but not able to answer these two basic question. That candidate is purely paper certified. But then the very next interview on the same day, I met another candidate, and he didn't mention anything on over the certification. He At that time he was preparing for the certification. Okay, fine. I mean, it was like a candidate who showed like 5 out of 5, and another candidate doesn't mention any certification. So I started asking the same type of question. I said, okay, can you explain me EC2, EBS, elastic IP? He was telling me, like, he was explaining all these concepts quite nicely. Not only that, he was kind of showing me, how you can expand an EBS volume, And he also showed me how you can reduce the size of an EBS volume. The how to reduce the size of an EBS volume at that point of time not mentioned in AWS documentation. He showed me how to use Linux LVM concept, and we can reduce the size of an EC2 EBS volume. That was great. A candidate with no certification experience, but he was able to answer all these things. I hired that particular guy on that particular moment. So this candidate was skill certified. Okay, the other guy, five certification on his resume, I sent him home. Okay, one guy having no certification over his resume but was able to explain me all the concept, I hired that guy. Okay, so I know at this point you got the idea what is paper certified and what is skill certified. So in the next 10 to 15 minutes I am going to show you exactly why this happens and how to make sure you are on the right side of this decision. This is very, very important. All right, so let's start. Here, in my 20 years at AWS, Microsoft, Oracle, I have met thousands of certified professionals. And there are only two types. One that we called paper certified. This is paper certified. What these type of candidate actually, how they clear the certification? They basically may be using some kind of dumps, they memorizing the answer, okay, but they cannot back it up. They cannot, back it up means during the interview call they won't able to answer a very simple thing. Their certification doesn't matches with their answer. Okay, so certification here becomes a liability. On the other hand, we have skill certified. Okay, what is this skill certified? Skill certified is something they study the actual concept. They build a home, they build in but let me rephrase the sentence. They build a lab inside their home, maybe on their laptop. They practice hands on. They maybe fail for over the exams once, maybe twice, then they clear it, and in the interview they go above and beyond what I ask. That is skill certified. Now the very important question. Now I want to ask, no, I want you to ask yourself one honest question. Which one are you? That answer decides everything that comes next. Okay, so let me start with my own story. Okay, so somewhere in 2008, cloud didn't exist. Okay, AWS was not there. Okay, so there was no concept of cloud. AWS, Azure, there was no such thing. All right, and nobody was talking about Kubernetes or DevOps. And I started my career as a Unix administrator with a sister concern of Sun Microsystem, and then moved towards other flavors of Unix like Solaris, AIX, HP Unix, and there were a couple of software that we need to learn on top of it. One of them was Veritas Value Manager, Veritas Cluster, Sun Cluster. Okay, most people in my field didn't know that Veritas Volume Manager and Veritas Cluster even exist. Okay, I not only kind of what I would say, I not only clear all those certification, but I will also tell you the process, the way I have cleared this exam, these certification exam. That will help you a lot. Okay, so how I started preparing for the certification at that point of time, I will also tell you one more thing. There were no such so many YouTube videos and all. Okay, there were no Udemy at that point of time. So all those things happen in last 5 to 10 years, most of these things. Okay, so let me go to the next slide. Here you can see in this particular slide, I in order to give the in order to clear these examination, which examination, the Veritas Volume Manager, Veritas cluster, and the Sun cluster, what I did, like, I went to Nehru Place. I mean, there is a computer market in New Delhi. Maybe some of you are aware of it. I purchased, like, actual Sun machine. Why? Because Solaris operating system you can run only on Sun hardware. Okay, there was x86 version also available, but that was not great because you won't get the other thing like OK prompt, and all those things were not available at x86 hardware. So that's the thing, like, I purchased the actual machine. I purchased a direct DAS, the storage device. I purchased two machines, one monitor, and their keyboard and mouse also you need to purchase, because normal mouse and normal keyboard won't work. So what I did, I installed Veritas Volume Manager from scratch. I configured Veritas cluster. I configured Sun cluster. I configured nodes, heartbeat, quorum, everything. I practice each and every scenario. If you Google it, you will get a user guide for Veritas Volume Manager, user guide for Veritas cluster. So whatever that user guide, the PDF, I took the printout and started doing one by one, like, one command at a time, one chapter, whatever the commands, whatever my learning, and started documenting everything, every command, every failures cases. I started documenting everything, and stage in a stage by stage manner in the Word document, command by command. And I will show you, this was the kind of architecture that I have built at that point of time. And this is the, I would say, you can see here, like, let me use my annotation here. So you can see here there are two nodes. This is node number 1, this is node number 2. Okay, two nodes, Sun Ultra 10, primary and secondary, private heartbeat in between them. Okay, this is, you can shared storage, that also I have purchased. It was having 4 or 5 hard disk attached. Okay, shared SCSI storage at the bottom, right, with VXVM disk group, VXVF, volumes, quorum, LUN, all those concept. This is not theory. Okay, this is not theory, and this is basically not a YouTube tutorial. This is a real cluster I built in my home in 2008ish or 7ish, in that particular time. Okay, so this is what skill certification looks like. Not a dump, not a shortcut, a real lab, real practice, real understanding. Okay, so when I clear this examination of Veritas Volume Manager and Veritas cluster, and because of that preparation, I got a call directly from Symantec. Symantec was a company who owns these two products, Veritas Volume Manager and Veritas cluster. Okay, I went to the Symantec interview, telling the interviewer, like, when the interview gets started, I was kind of able to explain each and every concept in much more detail. And the interviewer got surprised the way I answered couple of concepts. He said, "Hey, I am from Symantec. I didn't know about these things. From where you learn these things?" He asked me question, like, several questions that somebody having from their product team level of knowledge. He asked me those questions. He said me, how you have done all those things? Have you really faced this scenario in your job? I said, no. I mean, I have not all the scenario, but most of the scenario I have kind of faced in my job, regular day-to-day activity. But some of the scenario I have built at my home. Then he got surprised. Okay, and he asked a question. I answered it. I went beyond. Okay, then I said, then I feel like he may be not believing it, like, I have prepared a lab or something. Then I said, if you allow me, I can open my laptop and show you my notes. He looked at my Word documentation, okay, stage by stage, command by command. He was surprised. You know what he told me on that day? He said, from when you can join? No second round. He said, okay, second round my manager will take. I will go and talk to that guy. Don't worry about it. From when? Let me know when you can join my team. So that is what skill certification does for your career. That is level of kind of preparation you should do for a certification. All right. So basically, it all comes to, let me like summarize it, whatever we have discussed. Hands on first, then certified. That's the main thing. Before I tell you, which certification to do, one thing you must understand, and that's the most important thing for any certification: hands on first, then certified. Certification without any hands on experience is not going to help you. Okay? Not the other way around. Get your hands dirty, build something, break it, fix it, then go for the certification. Because now you understand what the exam is actually testing. Because in the interview you will find out it always does. It will work for you. All right. So at this, here I can at the and the second thing, before any certification, you know your what is your target role. Okay, are you targeting for, let's say, are you targeting for DevOps engineer? Are you targeting for the cloud engineer? Are you targeting for the platform engineer? Remember, I have prepared the one YouTube video, like what are the target roles that you can opt for. You can target for any one of such role. Okay, because every certification may cost you from 15,000 to 25,000 rupees, right? Certification without a target role is just waste of your money. So first decide, then certified. So here the part 1 gets complete. So far you have decided your role. You will either try for DevOps engineer, cloud engineer, or platform engineer. Next part, that is a part 2 of this video, where we are going to discuss about exactly which certification to do. Okay, and what are those certifications that you should skip. So let's meet in the next video, part 2. Thank you very much. Have a great day ahead. Bye bye.